Welcome to Spiritual Directions Sunday and Soul Care Sunday Live on Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern. Really glad that you're with us and watching with us. Hope you can come and join our growing community. Come over to our Facebook group and join there, or invite people if you're already part of the group and you're watching from Facebook. Invite people, come join us, become part of our community. We are continuing our exploration of holy humanity, talking about the 10 dimensions of the human soul on this bright and wintry, snowy day where I am. But before we do that, before we dive in, let's get back to our most basic spiritual practice. Let's get back to breath and stillness, giving ourselves the gift of breath, coming home to ourselves, bringing our minds home to our bodies. I know I need it. Today I'm feeling pretty anxious with everything going on. I'm just feeling that. I know I need it. Maybe you need it. The holidays are coming and all that means, good and bad, right? So maybe we just need a moment together. So let's do that grounding practice and just kind of prepare our minds and our hearts and kind of the soil of our spirits to reflect and talk about what we're talking about today. Does that sound good? So wherever you are, maybe get comfortable. Sit however works for you. Maybe some of you lay down, I don't know, on a yoga mat or on the floor with a little pillow under your head, whatever you want. Sit at a table and just get comfortable and let your shoulders drop and breathe. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. One more time in and out. We're present to ourselves as we breathe in and out. And in. And out. I'd like to invite you to just bring kind awareness to your body, to yourself. What are the feelings and sensations that you're having in your body? Maybe in your head, your shoulders, your chest, your gut, wherever. Invite you to bring kind awareness to the emotions or feelings that you assign to those physical sensations. Just continue to breathe in and out, letting your body's breath rise and fall. We are here. We are present. It's just good to have a moment of stillness, a moment of rest, a moment where we attend to ourselves. And like Thich Nhat Hanh says, our minds come home to our bodies, and we are, for a moment, at peace. For a moment, we are grounded. We recognize our presence, and we're grateful for the sacred gift of the presence of those on this call or the replay. And we accept the gift of ourselves here, and we're ready. We're ready to learn. We're ready to expand and grow. We're ready to access wisdom and love. And this is the posture that we can go through all of life with. We give ourselves the gift of a moment. Everything subsequent to this, we can remain in this place with this energy, and we can always come back to it if we get distracted or lose our way. We are open to the spirit. The spirit is always present. So tell me, how do you feel? How do you feel if you're watching? If you've been breathing with us, how do you feel? How do you feel today? Like I said at the beginning, I felt anxious. I was feeling unsettled and tense. There's things that worry me. and those are really on my mind all the time. Um, but now I am settled. I'm here. I'm ready to share and talk, right? The sun just came out as I said that. The sun just increased. Maybe you picked up on that in the video here. Um, so I'll take that as a good sign. Jill says she's peaceful. Susan says you were tense, but now you're relaxing. That's good. That's really good. What I'm going to do is slightly close this, draw this shade, so that way I am not completely blinded by the sun in my eyes. That's much better. There we go. All right. So we're ready. And let's talk today. Let's talk today more about our holy humanity, how we've been exploring the 10 dimensions of the human soul, of human spirituality. There are really 10 experiences that we have, right? And these are really kind of the basic contours and shape of the spiritual life, right? And we've looked at the first 3 dimensions already. We've looked at longing, which is one of the root experiences of spirituality. It's this driving sense of our need for meaning and connection. And we explored the second dimension, which is looking, and that's when we act on our longing and we go in search of anything that could be the answer to our need for meaning and connection. And then we spent a couple weeks talking about the third dimension, which is the experience of home. And that's the experience of deep belonging. It's that rooted sense of place that tells us who we are. And it comes through connections to sometimes literal places. It comes from the self, it comes through our connections to others. And really, anytime we experience the giving or receiving of love, we come home. And really, that experience of love, though, is in its own way, its own dimension. It's really its own experience all by itself. So today we're going to press in on this idea of love, and we're going to explore this fourth dimension of spirituality. We're going to explore that drive to give and receive love, right? That drive is hardwired into us as human beings. It's a drive that causes us to cast off inhibitions and sometimes even our reason, right? It's complicated because love and our understanding of love and what we think love is all about is informed by our own consciousness. It's informed by the cognitive commitments we make. And then the way our subconscious reinforces those commitments and keeps those commitments surviving. Love is shaped by our culture. It's shaped by our religion. It's shaped by the way our family modeled it or didn't model it. I mean, even our evolutionary adaptations and survival strategies all influence our understanding of and our participation in love. So love is psycho-emotional, it's biological, it's social and personal. It forms the bones of our ability to narrate our reality, to express our values, and to even ground our sense of identity. So, in other words, love is another core experience of spirituality because it touches on all 4 corners of our holy humanity, our human spirituality, right? Which is meaning and transcendence or connection and values and identity, right? Love touches on all of those things and shaped by all of those things. So it doesn't just come before and tell us about those things, they all feed into each other, right? So I want to talk a little bit about a person named Ramon Lull. Okay. Ramon Lull was a Spanish spiritual teacher in the 13th century. And he lived in a very unique time when there were a lot of different cultural influences in Spain. There was obviously Catholicism, that version of Christianity, but Spain had also a large Islamic influx and had been ruled by North African Muslims for a long time. So there was this there's this intersection of Christianity and Islam and Judaism, and they're all interacting in the 13th century and talking with each other in the 13th century in the Middle Ages. And they weren't just talking and arguing about who was true or who had the right religion. They were talking about God. They were talking about the spiritual experience. They were talking about spirituality and prayer, those universal realities, right? And his life and his work and his writing all point to that universal human experience of spirituality, right? It's a search for God, or however you define that word, and how our human longing for that experience of eternal love transcends all the various religious homes we might live in. Regardless of what your religion is, we're all moving toward and longing for and wanting to experience and encounter love. So Ramon Lull wrote a meditation on this experience of love and how it can shape who we are, shape our humanity. And it's this imaginary conversation, and it goes like this. Okay, and get a little drink here. But this is how the conversation goes that he writes. They asked the lover, "Where do you come from?" She answered, "From love." "To whom do you belong then?" "I belong to love." "Well, who gave birth to you?" "Love." "Where were you born?" "In love." "Who brought you up?" "Love." "How do you live?" "By love." "What is your name?" "Love." "Where do you come from?" "From love." "Where are you going?" "To love." "Where do you live?" "In love." "Well, then you are a fool." And the answer is, so be it. Isn't that amazing? Ramon's basically saying it's love that makes us fools in the best way possible. It's love that pushes us to be bold, to not settle, to move beyond the predictable and measurable and respectable, and to announce that we are love's child on love's mission. See, there comes this moment for most of us when we wonder if the pursuit of meaning and depth and connection and transcendence is a waste of time, because the achievable, right, and the common sense is all around us. People, we all can understand the pursuit of money, the pursuit of status, right? But to let love be our guide and to be our source of identity and meaning, that can seem nonsensical or sentimental or maybe even dangerous and irresponsible. I mean, think about how our most basic entrance into relationship with someone in our culture is always shaped by an awareness of status and money, right? I've said this before. Some of you have heard this before. Whenever we meet a new person, what do we always ask when we first meet a person for the first time? We always ask, "What do you do?" Right? What do you do? But what if we ask questions like this? What do you love? What brings you joy and gives you life? What makes you pound the table and fires you up? These questions illuminate to us and others who we really are. The answers to these questions, right, would illuminate to us, to ourselves, again, and to others who we really are. And to answer them means we're taking the risk of being known truly to ourselves and known to others. Got some comments coming in. Ted says, yes, what makes you alive? What do you love? Yeah, these are great questions. Judy says, that was beautiful prose. Love isn't an experience, it's what we are. It's the hidden being behind all the perceptions and experiences of the world that distract us from it. I love that. I love that. I mean, I think St. Augustine gets into that a little bit. It's the only good part of Augustine that I like, right? Is when he realizes that God is love. He talks about how God is love. We're made in the image of God, and we are expressions of love. We are meant to be love ourselves, right? So these questions illuminate the love that we are, right? And the unique ways that love is being directed from us and to us, right? And we come alive to ourselves, and we come alive to our awareness of what we are, right? So, what do you love? What brings you joy and gives you life? What makes you pound the table, fires you up, right? Maybe put it in the chat. Take the risk of being known, even on the replay. Maybe share it here. Susan says this is powerful. It is. It's good stuff, right? Like it's really life-changing, and it's a constant reminder to me too. Like I need this every day, right? To remember this every day. Melissa says, yes, when I first met my daughter's best friend parents, it was an instant. So what do you do? And I literally said, like for fun? Yes. Way to subvert the thing, you know what I mean? Way to resist the need to know what we do. And Judy says, we as spirits made in God's image are the love expressed in that poem. I love that, man. You gotta start writing this stuff down, Judy. Like, because I think we've run out of all the things that we can put on a t-shirt. You need to write a book, my friend. Ted says our identity is in our being, not so much in what we are doing, right? Right. Remembering what we are, truly are, and then acting from there. Right. That's awesome. So as I keep talking, maybe throw it in if you want to share. What do you love? What brings you joy? What gets you fired up? That shows an investment your loves, right? And here's another thing to think about, right? How often do we lay aside our loves and our joys because we've been taught to believe that being mature and being responsible always looks like losing a part of yourself, giving something up, right? How often is that? Susan says, coffee, all caps. Coffee is what you love. That is hilarious. I'm going to throw this in here. I'm going to open up the chat overlay so you guys can see this. And you guys can put it in. Susan said coffee. I'm going to put in coffee for me too. Yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, throw them in there. As I keep talking about how like a lot of times we let go of our loves. We let go of the things that bring us joy. We don't pursue those things because we've been told that you'll look immature, you'll look irresponsible, people will judge you. And so it seems like a lot of the dominant discourse is not just you have to produce and show us what you are by your money and your status, but also by how much you've let go of the things that actually make you you and make you human, right? Ramon Lull says that the trials and sorrows for which love gets blamed are the growing pains of love itself. Isn't that interesting? The trials and sorrows for which love gets blamed are the growing pains of love itself. See, love is a stretching process in which we are forever shedding our own confining skins, right? Our own confining conceptions of how reality should work and what we're owed and how we should be and what other people should say we should be, right? It's leaving behind the shells which we've grown used to that protect us and have been expected of us, whether expectations that we've placed on ourselves or expectations from the family we grew up in or the church you're at or whatever it is, right? Love means growth. Love means growth. And love means change. And love means regaining your true self so you can give the gift of yourself to others. And that isn't safe, right? And it can look crazy to others or even to yourself. Even to yourself. In the French language Easter Mass, this eternal love in that liturgy is described as being foolhardy or reckless. Foolhardy or reckless, you know? They say the phrase, l'amour de Dieu est folie, which is literally meaning the love of God is folly. And I think that's where Christianity really gets it right. It's not in notions of God with absolute power standing on high in judgment, but it's the idea of a God who appears in Jesus and in weakness and runs to the forgotten places and brings love. And whose radical love threatens people and the security of the powerful so much that they kill him. And even as he's dying, he offers forgiveness. That seems pretty foolish. But it's the only way we can really be free. You know? Especially in this life, right? Because it's so much suffering. And it's heartbreak all the way through, you know, all the way down. So that means it's got to be forgiveness all the way through. Otherwise, we'll lose ourselves. See, our words can't always capture our love, what we mean or intend, but our deeds of love will. And in the long run, even when others can't understand our lives now, the cumulative weight of our loving will say more than any amount of words. And it will outweigh all our mistakes or failures. I've just got to believe that. Jesus on the cross forgiving his murderers, that makes no sense in human terms. It appears wasteful and foolish. And yet that is the love that is God. That is the God who is love. Refusing to compromise the true self of love for the self-justification of anger, bitterness, status, power, control. That's God. That experience. Whenever we make that kind of love real, that is God made manifest. And it can seem foolish. The love of God is folly. In essence, they're saying God is a fool. The best kind. And would that we all, for our own sake and the sake of everyone around us, would that we all embrace such divine recklessness. You know? A lot of comments coming in here. I want to look at them here. It says, let's see here. Judy says, When you realize you are in spiritual substance love, it seems that this one revelation unlocks all of those healing patterns in the brain. I think this is why the recognition of Christ or love presence within self and neighbor was called the key to the whole kingdom of heaven also within. Love is reborn like the child in the manger every time a person recognizes their own infinite worth. Yeah, that is gorgeous. Love is reborn like a child in the manger. God is born to us and in us every time we recognize the infinite worth, the reality of God's love that makes us who we are. I love that. I absolutely love that. Let's see here. Melissa says, I love to see the love ripple. Lately, I've been in a season of being blessed with financial abundance. And within that, I have given randomly to strangers, kids at the grocery stores, at homeless and randomly. And I love that. I love to ripple the love, spread the abundance, feel love, feels love. I love to stand in the truth of how our souls, are here to love each other, no expectation conditions, just love. But I haven't been able to love like this until I really love myself and see myself in that divinity and the goodness God put into my heart. I love to see that ripple into others' hearts. I love that. Isaiah says, reminds me of the ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead by XTC. I am not familiar with that one, but if you could unpack that more, that would be awesome. Susan says, I'm writing my memoir to spread God's love. Yes. See, this activating reality that is love. So here's a question for you guys. And I want to give us a moment just to reflect, in light of everything that I've been sharing, where do you think your love needs to grow now? Where is love calling you to be reckless and wasteful and to let go of your fear? Where do you think your love needs to grow? You don't have to put this one in the chat if you don't want to, but think about it. Just think about it. And I just want us to just kind of take a moment to reflect on this question, okay? I'm going to take the chat overlay out here. And I want us to do that, okay? And we'll dive into that. But here, Isaiah is clarifying the XTC Peter Pumpkinhead. He quotes the thing, Peter Pumpkinhead puts to shame governments who would slur his name. Plots and sex scandals failed outright. Peter merely said, any kind of love is right. But he made too many enemies. Peter Pumpkinhead was too good, had him nailed to a chunk of wood. He died grinning on live TV. Hanging there, he looked a lot like you and an awful lot like me. We will ponder that for a while here as we think about where do you think your love needs to grow? Right? Where is love calling you to give it all? Right? Even if it takes you all the way to loss, right? So let's just take a moment to just pause on this question. And I want to invite you to just bring kind awareness to what this might look like for you, just for a moment, kind of a directed set of reflections. And I'm going to put a little music on, and let's just take a minute to think about this question. And maybe if you have pen and paper, write it down, or think about it. We're just going to ponder together for a moment, okay? Let this question invite you into someplace new within yourself, okay? All right. It's good to reflect and take a pause, you know? Um, I hope that as you reflect on where your love needs to grow, the foolishness of love, the healing that comes when we give ourselves over to love, no matter where it leads. I hope that you experience love as growth and change, breaking out of the protective mechanisms that you've used that have kept you away from or impoverished your experience of love and connection with others. I'm going to end with a prayer, and I hope it kind of captures all of our longing to live as fools for love. And the prayer goes like this. Hear us, love. Hear our hearts, not just our words, not even our best words, not even our most prayerful words. Hear us and listen to our lives. Let our actions full of love speak. Awkward as we may be, let us act out of love, drawing from you who are love itself. Amen. Spiritual Direction and Soul Care, thanks so much for hanging out with us again today as we have explored this dimension of love, of foolish love. And I hope you have an amazing holiday week. Let us know how we can pray for you. Reach out to me, leave me a message, or any other way that we can support you as we go into the holiday season. I hope you are doing well and have a healing rest of the weekend and an amazing week. And I pray that gratitude, this season of gratitude, is not just, checking the box and pro forma, but that you really experience profound thankfulness that deepens your love and care for others. Have an awesome, awesome week.